All right, welcome to week 18. Week 17 was okay, I guess. Nothing crazy happening. So anyhow, the playoffs are almost here. The playoff picture for all teams is not quite done. Kansas City has everything locked up, but Holmes is not. Evidently, he's going to play part of the game or not at all. Baltimore still has something to play for. They can lock up. They need to beat Cleveland to lock up the division. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh wins. They lock up a seed. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm kept up on it. So anyhow, on to the first game. Let's go Cleveland at Baltimore. I've got a handicap. It's a Saturday game at 4:30. Cleveland 24.15 points. Baltimore 25.5 points. Cleveland, Baltimore, typically always a tough game. I personally wouldn't bet it. Cleveland should be done. I don't think anything to play for, but this is a divisional game. These games tend to be close, and I'm personally not going to touch it. Maybe just play some player props, and I'll do a separate video on that. All right, next game up Saturday, 8 p.m. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Cincinnati 25.55 points. Pittsburgh 30.3. I feel like this is a money pick. Pittsburgh is favored. I think Pittsburgh wins and covers. Next game up, Carolina, Atlanta. Carolina 27.30 points. Atlanta 21.60 points. Houston 20. Next game up, Houston. This is Sunday. Houston 29.55 points. Tennessee 19.65 points. I believe Houston does have something to play for. If you're going to play this, I would play this the Houston side. Next game up, New York Giants at Philly. 20.30 points. Philly 20 points, 26.25 points. I do think Philly's going to have their starters pulled, so I don't think the Giants are so horrible. I still think Philly wins. The big news is Saquon Barkley going to be playing to hit the season rushing record. I think he plays. He needs 101 yards, but then he'll be pulled. So I personally wouldn't bet this game. Next game up. Next, Jaguars in Jacksonville Jaguars at Indianapolis Colts. We got 21.30 for the Jags and 22.35 for the points. I would not bet this game. I mean, neither team has anything to play for. Coin flip game. Both teams are eliminated from the playoffs. So, next game up, Washington Commanders 24.50 points. Dallas 30.45 points. Washington, I think, will not be quitting. Dallas has been winning lately, so this is a tough game to read. I'm personally going to stay off of it. So 24.50 points for Washington, 30.45 for Dallas. Yeah, I won't touch it. Green Bay 23.70 points. Chicago 23.70 points, and Green Bay 24.50 points. Once again, I don't know if Green Bay's resting people or they need this game. I haven't totally explored that. I should have been exploring that, I guess. I personally stay on the Green Bay side, assuming the starters of Green Bay aren't pulled. Chicago, very bad. Nothing to play for. Eliminated down the playoffs. Next game up, New Orleans at Tampa. 22.0 points, and Tampa 23.70 points. I do believe Tampa needs this game. It comes down to Tampa or Atlanta. I think whoever wins, they're in the playoffs, I believe. I'm staying off of it. Next game up, Buffalo at New England. Buffalo 27.9 points. New England 23.80 points. Once again, I don't know if Buffalo's pulling their starters or what they're doing. I need to probably do a separate video just on the playoff scenarios and what's going on with that. I guess if you're going to play it, take the Buffalo side, assuming the starters haven't been pulled. Buffalo should beat New England. But, it's probably a field goal game, and I haven't looked at the current point spreads on FanDuel or whatever. I'm going to take Buffalo. I wouldn't take any more than 3 points. Next game up, LA Chargers, 27.60 points at the Las Vegas Raiders, 20.85 points. Chargers, I think, do need this game. They're trying to make the playoffs. They're when they're in the kind of thing. So I would stay on the sides of the Chargers. Next game up, San Francisco, 24.2 points to Las Vegas, Arizona, 26.45 points. San Francisco's eliminated, I believe. Arizona's eliminated. So this is a coin flip game. I would stay out of it. Next game up, Sunday, 4:25. Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. Kansas City, 28.8 points. Denver, 24.25 points. This game, probably, assuming Mahomes isn't playing, most starters are pulled. The Chiefs, I would not personally either don't bet this game or bet on the side of the Broncos. Take the plus points or the money line. I wouldn't bet it. Seattle at the LA Rams. 26.95 points. The Rams, 24.1 points. I wouldn't bet this. I don't know if the Rams are in playoff contention or not. They might be. I know Seattle's eliminated. All right, next game up. I wouldn't bet it. Miami, 24.45 points. New York Jets is 425 game. Miami, 24.45 points. New York Jets, 23.3. I think Miami is the better team. This last time they played, it went in overtime. I personally wouldn't bet this game. I was going to bet it. I'd bet Miami. I think Miami's just a better team. Last game of the week, Sunday at 8:20. Minnesota Vikings at Detroit. Got Minnesota 33.80 points. Detroit 28.6 points. This is a tough divisional game. Detroit's coming off a short week. Detroit actually needs this game to lock up the number one seed and bye and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Philly's right on their butt. If Philly wins, if Detroit wins, this just upsets the apple cart for Detroit. So this is a must-win game for Detroit. I think they get it done. Who knows what happens? So that's week 18. So anyhow, I'd like to mention exercise and caution betting because we don't know exactly how these games are going to play out. Weather, of course, is always a factor. Denver might be a weather game. I haven't looked at the forecast. And let's see if I have any other thoughts. I don't know. Pittsburgh typically dominates Cincinnati, assuming Pittsburgh starters are going. Although I don't know. Pittsburgh's been a weird duck at the moment. Cincinnati puts up more points than Pittsburgh, but Cincinnati really needs this game, and they've been on a hot streak. I wouldn't bet that game. Anyhow, I'm going to try to do a separate video on player props and the playoff picture. And I'll see if I don't do a video. I will see you guys week 19. And I'm going to get to the playoffs, and that should be exciting. All right, everybody. I hope everybody had a good New Year's, and I'll see you guys next week.